This is a world. They give their viewers anything to try to make America look bad. They are obsessed.
He is so pissed off at you. Joe Scarborough, MSNBC this morning. You got to see it. It's unbelievable.
Today, we just went through the numbers. United States military, by far stronger relative to the rest of the world than any time since 1945. Our economy is stronger than it's been relative to the rest of the world, probably since 1945. Our soft power is stronger than ever before. Culturally, we have a bigger impact across the globe. American ideas going across the globe faster than any time. Technologically, we are light years ahead of of our closest competitors. You combine the United States of America with the EU, who also these people hate. You look combined, we have like $55 trillion GDP. Russia has a $1.4 trillion GDP. China has like an $18 trillion GDP. We are so much more powerful, so much stronger than we have ever been. Iran, why did Iran do what Iran did, knowing what the outcome was going to be? Because they didn't want to screw with the United States of America.
There's more to this, and we're going to watch it all because it's glorious. But I love that. But why did Iran, for the first time in history, send missiles to Israel? Because they didn't want to screw with us. And to MSNBC viewers and to the geniuses like Al Sharpton sitting at the table, that makes sense to them. But he just spent a minute talking about how great things are here, how it's unprecedented, how this is most incredible. You understand that Joe and his friends in the left-wing media, they have a near monopoly on messaging in this country. They have every newspaper. They have pretty much every television network and cable news network. They have every major news website, except for right-leaning websites where we have a little bit of freedom. They have pretty much every social media platform, except they hate Elon Musk. They have the colleges and universities. They have the music industry, except a couple of songwriters and performers out of Nashville. They've got the movies. They've got television. They've got streaming. They've got Netflix. They've got Amazon. They've got Apple TV. The left wing controls all of that messaging, right? And now, after Joe Scarborough just laid out how incredible everything is in this country, and you would think with a complete monopoly, near monopoly, on every kind of media and communications outlet in this nation, you would think that if things were so great, you'd be able to get the word out. And now watch the turn he makes. Watch the turn he makes. Because the problem is you. He is so pissed off at you for not believing his crap. Watch. I'm going to let it play now.
So Donald Trump keeps talking about how America sucks. And before he got elected, America sucked. And then he got elected, suddenly America was great. Then he lost, and now America sucks again. You're voting for a guy like that? You live in the most powerful, greatest country on the face of the earth? And you're voting for a guy that tells you every day that America sucks? What's wrong with you? Who raised you? What history did you read?
That's it.
Like, where are you from? Because you may claim to be from where I'm from, but you were not raised by the same teachers I was raised by, and you don't read. Because if you read, Mike, the facts are clear. And I'm getting tired of saying this to people who claim to be patriotic but hate America, because they're always running America down. They're always trashing America. They're always saying America's horrible. Its democracy doesn't work. We need a dictatorship if Donald Trump doesn't win. I'm tired of people running America down. And on Fox News, and I'll just say it, on Fox News, they didn't want to show Donald Trump in trial. So they got 3 protests and said, protests shut down America, basically. This weekend, there were like 4 migrants and a hound dog on top of the hill in New Mexico. And they had their 4 migrants and a hound dog cam on for hours. there's right now, I'm looking up the hill, and there are 2, 3. I see a coyote. That's a hound dog, Bob. Okay, a hound dog. I mean, this is a world. They give their viewers anything to try to make America look bad. They are obsessed with trashing America when America is stronger, more powerful than ever before. Its economy stronger and more powerful than ever before. So what do? They find a trans athlete in Utah. Our world's coming to an end. Help us, Jesus. The country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better. It's stronger. We're more powerful. Our military is more powerful relative to the rest of the world. Our economy is stronger relative to the rest of the world. But you would never know this because they are fed a steady stream of hate America first rhetoric, which I suppose is why you have the chairman of the House GOP saying that some of those dupes, backbenchers, are actually clinging to pro-Russian propaganda and spreading it across their districts, across America, and across the House floor.
So you knew he was going to get to Russia at some point, right? He had to throw Russia in there. Yeah, he's so pissed off at you. He's angry at you. Listen, I'm glad he's saying out loud what they all think and say to each other in the green room or in the producers' offices before they go on the air. See, I say it often. Trump's not the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem for not believing his crap. You're the problem for not believing and eating what he's dishing out. Did you notice when he's talking about how strong the economy is and how great it's been, more powerful than ever? He kept saying really quickly, under his breath almost, relative to the rest of the world, relative to the rest of the world, relative to the rest of the world. Because you know that inflation is terrible. You know that everything costs more than it used to because of Joe Biden. But his only answer is, well, relative to the rest of the world, it's not that bad. How about relative to 4 years ago, jackass? Relative to the rest of the world. Oh, gas prices aren't that high relative to the rest of the world. They're a hell of a lot higher relative to America under Trump versus America under Biden. He's trying to rewrite how you're supposed to appreciate this country. And did you see how he mocks you for being concerned about the protection of your children from academics who want to convince them to change their sex? Did you see how he's like, oh, Jesus? Boy, they have got something on Joe Scarborough. They've really got something on him. By the way, one thing I noticed here that I really want to share with you. It's petty, but it's important. Hang on. There it is. If we could make this large, Kevin, please. You see at the top of the crown of his head here? Do you see that? The gray hair? See how that gray hair is growing in? Right? Yeah. So it's important for you to know. It's important for me to let you know because I am a petty juvenile. Joe Scarborough dyes his hair. I believe he's been doing it for quite some time. This is the visual evidence we've all been waiting for. I mean, we can tell he's been dyeing his hair because it's bleach blonde sometimes, you know. I think Mika might do it in the bathroom. I'm not sure. And by the way, I'm not being a hypocrite. I was prematurely gray in my late 20s. I've been doing my own touch-ups. That's how I know. I can see it. I was in my late 20s. I did not want to go gray. I didn't want to look older before my time. I got a brother. He's 7 years older than me. He's completely white hair. Just runs in the family. I decided I didn't want that. So yeah, it's something I got to deal with. That's fine. At least I'm honest with you. But look at that. That's embarrassing. Look at that patch right there. Dude. Yeah, see, now the problem is he usually does his show from his garage in Florida. Even though they have a backdrop of either New York or Washington, D.C. behind him, he and Mika live together in Florida, tax shelter, and they do the show by remote. Now, he happens to be in New York for some reason for this show, so I'm thinking he didn't have his regular hairstylist to be able to, make sure that the lighting didn't catch it wrong. I know. I'm going to hate myself for going off on this tangent because it is petty, it is cheap, it is beneath me. No, it's not. It is not beneath me at all. And I feel better, actually. Joe Scarborough dyes his hair. And not well. But he has a point. He has a point. I just want to say for a moment here, it can be relentless to every day have to point out to viewers or readers or listeners of our content that everything is bad. It is not easy to do that. And he has a point, when he says, I'm so sick and tired of these Trump people who are tearing this country down and bad-mouthing it every day. It's awful. It's terrible. We can be better than this. Well, you know what? I think it's worth going back in time and revisiting how Joe Scarborough conducted himself during the Trump administration. Here's just a random clip I found, and it truly is random. I went to the Great Media Research Center website. They have a great archive of these shows. God bless you, Media Research Center, and Brent Bozell and the whole team there. I literally found a random clip from the Trump era to see how Joe Scarborough characterized things in this country when, objectively speaking, things were fantastic. Not relative to the rest of the world, relative to unemployment numbers for decades in America, relative to gas prices for decades in America, certainly relative to where we are right now. So how did Joe Scarborough communicate to his audience at that time about the robust nature of our nation? Let's take a look, shall we?
He looks down with contempt on the hardworking Americans, saying that ignorance is pervasive in many parts of this country. And obviously and importantly, Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
That's a president, actually, from his Nuremberg rally from last night. Which
something like
we're
that.
fortunate enough to get some
2 days.
So, John Heilman, it's hard to say, actually, that this is shocking, given everything that has preceded this moment. Perhaps everything has led up to this. But this is the low point of, I think it's the low point of the Trump presidency. And I would hope after last night's shocking display in any other context, under any other president, at any other time in American history, that we can go ahead and just be done with the fiction that Donald Trump is a bad guy running the country. But those at the rally, we need to try to figure out how to understand them a bit more. They once again made themselves perfectly clear last night.
Yeah, they hate you. And the natural response to Ilhan Omar, who has been given such great gifts from our nation and has been able to succeed at the highest levels for a first-generation immigrant from a war-torn nation suffering with starvation, civil war, violence, and murder. She comes here. She's a member of Congress and is feted and bedded, and all she does is talk down how lousy our country is. Joe Scarborough, does that sound familiar to you? The crowd starts shouting. The crowd starts chanting, "Send her back," and he compares that to Nuremberg and the Nazis. That's how Joe Scarborough reported this country during the Trump presidency. What did he just say earlier this morning? He's sick and tired of people coming on and talking this country down. He literally talked this country down and compared citizens to Nazis. Joe, you should really watch your own show now and then. It's really enlightening.